today's webinar. We've got Martin Lanick here and myself, Michelle Brown from Pinsight. And today we're very excited to launch and demonstrate one of the newest and most exciting features and innovations in Pinsight for a number of years. We're very pleased to be speaking about and talking about the launch of our new SimManager product, most importantly because it really aligns with some of the most important values that we have here at Pinsight, but also so that we can support businesses to make great decisions about great leaders into the future. Joining me today is Martin Lanick, our CEO and founder. And Martin, would you like to do a quick introduction? Let the folks know a bit about you and a bit more about Pinsight.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Michelle. So I'm Martin Lanick. I have background in industrial organization psychology, and today I'm going to be playing the virtual assessment center expert. I've been working with virtual assessment centers for the past 12 years and building this platform. So I'm very excited to demonstrate some of the new features of the SimManager that will help you to administer your own assessment center content online.
Here at Pinsight, we specialize in virtual assessment centers, and we've made that our specialty and our passion for the last 12 years because we deeply believe in leadership decisions being made with fair, standardized, and equitable processes. We want to level the playing field so that candidates and organizations have the best quality but most just processes at hand to be able to make those important decisions. We also deeply believe in those decisions being made with good quality evidence, that we shouldn't be relying on favoritism, biases, or gut checks about whether a candidate has the capability and the skills to be able to lead important business decisions and your most important assets, your people. And finally, we believe that with great data and good information about natural talents and strengths, we can unlock the potential of great people and help them become the great leaders that our organizations and our communities need in this time and all times. So it's with great excitement that we launch the SimManager today, our feature that enables consultancies and organizations around the globe to administer, to house, and to report on their own assessment center content. And that's what we'll be spending our time on today. So we're excited to speak about some of the most important differentiators of our platform and the key features that are beneficial not only for businesses out there, but also consultancies that have an assessment practice. We've been working in and innovating this technology and platform for the past 12 years, and we're very proud to be able to provide our partners around the globe with the most sophisticated end-to-end platform for assessment center housing, administration, and reporting that's out there today. Some of the most important overview of the features is that we've really taken into account and been mindful of business efficiencies. So some of the things that we'll speak about today will certainly help organizations be much more time efficient and cost effective with their resources when it comes to assessment center administration. The other thing that we hold very dear is the participant or candidate experience with assessments. We know that time to hire and candidate experience is a critical component in any factor, be it succession planning or hiring. So these are some of the important things that we'll call out today. One of the first things that sets our platform aside is the efficiency around automated scheduling. One of the things that we've put a lot of energy into is that the system enables self-scheduling for participants based on your assessor's availability. By simply entering blocks of time that assessors have made available, participants can quickly and efficiently see these slots that are available for them to take their assessments at any time that you deem appropriate. No more calendaring assessors, no more trying to schedule and work around candidates' availability in their calendars. This administration can save you hundreds of hours per year, and that equates to thousands and thousands of dollars of effort and energy. The second feature that we have ensured is working smoothly and extremely efficiently and effectively inside the platform is the ability to host live video role plays within the assessment center. This is where participants and assessors can engage in a one-on-one role play, in role play exercises directly through the platform. Those video interactions are automatically recorded and housed in the platform for later viewing or later scoring. But ensuring that this feature is integrated into the technology means that there's no outside links, no going to some other web conferencing platform, no downloads, no frustrating use of telephones and then needing to be able to video or capture the telephone call. Everything happens automatically at the click of a button inside our platform. The third thing that's important for efficiency and candidate experience is the sophisticated analytics of which we've built into the Pinsight platform. Here, reports and analytics are automatically generated from assessor ratings and the psychometrics. Group comparisons are also available. So simply by assessors entering numerical rating scales or using a numerical rating algorithm, the scores are converted into text and reports are generated within 24 hours of completion of the assessment. In addition, psychometrics are also available for candidates to complete in an integrated process as well. So we have learning agility and personality psychometrics built into the participant experience, and those scores enable us to be able to generate a wide range of analytics to be able to determine readiness, 9-box ratings, and potential capability of the candidate in question. Finally, that data enables us to enable a mobile development program whereby our mobile application generates a tailored development plan from the assessment results and then converts that plan into a daily leadership development exercises that equips leaders with the prompts and grows the skills that they need, once again, to go from great people into great impactful leaders. As they interact with the app, that data is also collected, feeding back into the sophisticated analytics. So stakeholders and learning and development professionals can see the growth and see the growth trajectory of leaders in their organization. So we're really focusing on having an integrated experience whereby the platform manages all facets of an assessment center, from scheduling to logistics to high quality participant experience to reporting to development. The system manages all the stakeholders in that process, from administrators, assessors and their availability, participants and their experience, and stakeholders that need to be able to access and see those analytics. And it's this platform that is really making us the most sophisticated and secure system in the assessment center market today. Many people might be wondering what type of exercises can be housed and delivered inside the assessment center platform. With the capability that you have just seen here, Pinsight can equip a range of exercises that are possible, from case studies whereby candidates receive PDF documents, background information, and they can then complete their responses and send their responses through an inbox interface. They can attach their documents and their responses via any type of attachment material such as Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. Participants can engage in inbox or in-basket exercises while they interface and solve problems inside the platform. And they can solve those problems and respond via email, document attachments, or leaving a video voicemail to fictitious characters. Participants can engage in one-on-one presentations. They can engage in one-on-one role plays. And finally, they can engage in one-on-one interviews through pre-scheduled video meetings, usually set up as a call from, say, a fictitious boss checking in on the day. What is not currently available in the Pinsight platform, which is worth mentioning, is group discussions. The logistics and challenge of setting this technology up means that it is not possible to have multiple people on a video call, but it is absolutely possible to have peer interactions or to use the multiple facets of emails and documents and the video interactions to simulate a group exercise, just not a group video role play. So Martin, we've got a number of things that we're going to spend time demonstrating today, starting with setting up the assessment and then on to scheduling the assessment. Martin, what else will we make sure we cover today that people can see the ease and the self-service nature of the SimManager?
Sure. So we'll start with a demonstration of how you actually upload your own content, how you set up the different exercises in the platform. Then we will move to the participant interface, show you how easy it is for participants to schedule the assessment. Then we will actually go into the assessment as a participant, show you the different parts of the interface there. Then we move to the assessor interface so you can see how easy it is to score the different responses that we just gathered from a participant. And then we'll take a look at an automatically generated report. In the first step, we'll demonstrate how to upload your content into the SimManager platform. I'm going to call this demo the SimManager. And I'm going to make this simulation 2 hours long. I've already uploaded some instructions here as a PDF document. And I have also uploaded some documents here for the participant. So we see that there are some written notices for a troubled employee. These are going to be the basis for a coaching role play. I have some other documents like organization diagnostics, HR policies handbook, onboarding information packet. And these are all part of a case study. In this case, I'm using a day in the life model of Assessment Center. I'll have 2 different role plays, a case study, and some in-basket exercises. But I'm going to set them up so they're not set up as separate exercises, but they are following the day in the life model. I'm also going to upload an organizational chart here for the participant. And I will want to include this file in pre-work. And what this will mean is that the participant will be able to access these documents before starting the live assessment center. So they will be able to get familiar with the environment and some of these basic documents.
Now, Martin, if I wanted to set up a traditional assessment center, a prepare and perform type thing, do I have the option of being able to hold back those documents and just assigning them throughout the course of the material?
Yes, absolutely. So with any of the documents, you can set them up either as pre-work, or you can set them up to be only available during the live assessment center, or you can even send them as email attachments at different points in time. And that will allow you to create more of a traditional assessment center feel where the exercises are truly separated. In the next section here, I'm going to create a role play. So I have already put one role play in that actually starts 10 minutes into the assessment center, and it lasts 15 minutes. I'm going to set up another coaching role play just to demonstrate how easy it is to do this. So I'll have a coaching role play. And this one is going to start 1 hour into the assessment center. And I'm going to set it up for 20 minutes. Now this is a role play. So by clicking on this box, I'm telling the system that I'll need an assessor assigned to this particular exercise. I'm going to have Ben Lewis as the fictitious character, and it's an exercise that I preset before called the coaching role play. I will want this to be actually a surprise for the participant, so I'm not going to show it in the calendar, but I'm still going to have an assessor assigned, and then it was going to be a surprise call for the participant. Next, I'm moving into the contacts, and these are all the different fictitious characters in the assessment center. So I can have different names. I can give them a picture to make it a bit more personal. I can assign them to a different fictitious company, and I can give them a fictitious position. These are the folks that the participants are going to interact with, either in an in-basket type of fashion, or they can initiate calls and leave voicemail messages to any of these individuals. I will show you what it looks like. So you can here set up the name, company, and position, and then also upload a photograph for each of the fictitious contacts or characters in the assessment center. And last, we're going to set up the different emails. So here I am going to be sending emails to the participant at different points in time. So for example, I can have an email from one of the coworkers that is requesting a phone call. So you can see that I designate the contact from the contact list who is actually sending this email. I let the system know when I want this email to arrive. I can put attachments here, and I can type up the email in this space right here.
Martin, we can see here there's the option to attach some sort of document. This is where you could attach a PDF, a photo of some sort, or any sort of document for the participant to receive from these emails at a timed piece in the virtual assessment center. That's correct?
Yes, absolutely. So back to the traditional model, if you are wanting to have independent, discrete exercises, then you would use mainly this email function to deliver the documents and the instructions for each exercise at different points in time. In the last section, exercises section, this is where I set up the scoring. And we have made available our entire library of competencies and behaviors to you. So this is pre-validated behavioral anchored rating scales that you are welcome to use. So you can see that here I set up the coaching call exercise, and it is a role play exercise, and I'm going to be measuring enter and coach, develop capable teams, delegate well, and empower others. These are the key exercises or the key behaviors that I'm going to be measuring in this exercise. And those come with rating scales then for the assessors, and we'll demonstrate this in one of the following steps in this demo.
Go.
Now that we have set up the assessment center, I'm going to demonstrate how to schedule it from the participant perspective. So the administrator, the consultant, has now taken my email address and entered it into the system, and I have received an email invitation to this assessment center as a participant. The very first step is going through an IT check. This is when the system automatically checks the settings on my computer to make sure that I don't run into technology issues in the future. So first, it's going to check my browser. Now it's going to check my settings in terms of my speakers. And next, it's actually going to check my webcam and microphone settings. We see that all of this is working properly. So now that I have checked the settings on my computer, I can schedule my simulation. And this is where the power of the scheduling mechanism behind the scenes really is evident. So the system has read the availability of all your assessors, and it has, based on the role plays and based on the different scoring requirements, it has put together sessions for me as a participant. And you can see that the sessions are already showing in my time zone, which is in Mountain Time in Denver, Colorado. And I have all these different sessions that I can choose from. So let's say that I want to take this assessment on June 11th. And here I have 25 different sessions when I can start. So participants can start every 30 minutes. And let's say that I would like to start my assessment center at 9 o'clock in the morning. So that's what I select. And then I simply click schedule. And now I'm scheduled for the assessment center. The system has generated automatic email notifications to the assessors, assigned them to do role plays and scoring. And at 9 a.m. on June 11th, I'll be ready to go.
And here we are in the participant interface, where we've got the opportunity to see how participants experience the assessment center. We can see here that we're in the dashboard environment where candidates can see everything going on at a glance. But of course, they can dig into each of the facets by navigating across the top here, where they'll have the opportunity to see deeper their inbox interface with the standard experience of inbox technology that we would see in a general in the general environment. They can see their sent files, drafts, as well as trash. Now, importantly, when it comes to the platform is automatically saving all drafts. So should there be some sort of connection issue or someone gets distracted in the middle of an email, all drafts are automatically saved in here. Now, of course, participants can both send new messages, they can add attachments from their computer, they can have access to the entirety of the contact list. And they can also reply to emails, forward emails to their candidates, or simply clear out their inbox to stay focused. There's a notes section where the candidates can keep track of the things they want to do, make a note to themselves, keep an eye on tasks that they want to ensure they tick off. Then they can also check their calendar with both adding new events for themselves as a reminder, or also being aware of the exercises and activities that are coming up for coaching, role plays, interviews, and so on. Now, in a day in the life role play, in a day in the life assessment center, this is where candidates would be expected to really manage their calendar tightly over the course of the assessment center. But of course, in a more traditional prepare perform assessment center, we can preload their calendar with activities that they will do, so they could have pre-scheduled preparation time here in anticipation for the coaching call. Here's where those documents that we uploaded earlier are housed, everything from onboarding packets to written notices that they'll need. From a test security perspective, it's important for people to know that these documents cannot be downloaded, but only viewed when candidates are inside the platform. While the assessment center is available to candidates up to 48 hours, or I should say with up to 15 minutes before the assessment center starts. They can access these documents and view them during that time. They simply cannot download them for test security purposes. Here's our contact list, whereby I can initiate an email, or I can initiate a video role play.
The person you have called cannot be reached now. Please leave a message after the tone.
And it's here that I can be recording my video role play. So to Amelia, I will see you for lunch on Thursday. Thanks so much. Here's also where we've uploaded and made those instructions available for participants in advance. And there's also an FAQ area where participants can refer to this section if they're having any difficulties navigating the platform. Over here, we do have live chat support available to all candidates 24/7. So should they be experiencing any challenges with technology, there is a live person in the background that's made available to them. I've got a queue here where I've always got the ideas of how much more time I have to be able to perform in the assessment center, and this ticks down for me as a candidate.
Now that the participant has completed their assessment, I'm going to demonstrate the Assessor Interface. So I'm logged in as an assessor who is responsible for scoring the coaching role play. You'll see that the exercise is assigned to me. And then if I open it, I'll see the rating scales here. This is again, these behaviors are coming from the validated library that Pinsight makes available to you. And I decided to score several dimensions like mentor and coach, and I can see here the definition of that dimension. And here I have the particular behavioral anchored rating scales, as well as the rating scale itself. So we are using a 4-point rating scale, and I'm entering my scores as I'm going through this. On the left-hand side, you can see all the data that has been captured from the participant. So we have the notes that the participant took during the pre-work and then also during the live assessment. We now have all the emails that the participant received and sent to the different characters. I'll just pull one up here. And we also have the role plays. So these are recordings of the videos and the video role play in this case, which was the coaching role play. So I can replay this as many times as I need. I can take my notes as an assessor, and then later I can enter those scores into the rating sheets right here. I would also have any voicemails that the participant left stored here and logs. All of this participant data is securely stored on our servers, and we're in compliance with ISO standards and GDPR, so you can be sure that we are housing the data in a secure location. As an assessor, as I'm going through this participant data, I'm completing my rating scales, and these numbers are then going to be combined with ratings from other assessors who are responsible for different parts of the assessment center. They will be combined together using our algorithms, and then the system will automatically generate reports that we'll show you in the next step.
And here we are back in the platform as an administrator to view the analytics. Now, I've previously set up an assessment for my candidates, and I'm ready now to view them both individually, but also to compare them via groups. Now, I've got a filtering option here where I can start to screen them out via some sort of tags that I've entered, or I can use the search feature, or I can simply filter down by the type of assessment that they've taken or the date they've taken it. But down here, I've got ready all of the types of assessments that I have ready to view, and I particularly want to view the candidates that took the senior customized assessment that I've constructed previously. I've got these 3 candidates that I want to have a look at, and so here I go, scrolling down to be able to view these candidates. Now, across the top here, you can see all the analytics that have been made available for these candidates based on my customization that I've input earlier. Now, I've been thoughtful about the customization, and I have a competency model that I'm using for my client here. So I've taken the opportunity to refine the list of behaviors that I'm wanting to report out for everyone listening into the webinar here, to know that while we have the fully validated library of competencies available to you to use when you construct your assessment center in the SimManager feature, you can still always customize those competencies, such as their labels, the definitions, or which ones you want to view based on your the competency model that you're using for your customer. Now, I can see here in a group the readiness of my candidates for the role that I am considering them for. But I can also start to dig deeper and view them on a 9 box. This 9 box is taking the performance scores, the average and the percentiles of all of those assessor ratings we saw just a moment ago. So this performance is taking those 0s, 1s, 2s, and 3s and using our benchmark database to be able to map these 3 candidates on this performance axis and also on this potential axis. This is where the platform is pulling the scores from the psychometrics that the candidates were using earlier. They've used the personality psychometric as well as learning agility to give an estimate of their potential. So I can quickly see at a glance now how my participants are being compared based on what their performance is as well as their potential. But I can also start to see a customized bench strength analysis based on the work that I did when configuring these results earlier on. I want to be able to see these candidates based on some very specific things that my organization is doing. And I've bucketed these behaviors and given a description and a strategy name so I can start to see which candidate will be able to perform well at the most important strategies that my organization has set aside. If I was an L&D leader, I might be very curious to know about the distribution of people and these skill gaps that are present. Now, you could imagine that this view is very handy both as an understanding of which skill gaps are universal to the pool of candidates I have. But if I'm using this tool in a succession planning or a talent development context, this is extremely helpful for me to be able to assess whether I need to put into place organizational level interventions or perhaps just individual level interventions to close the skill gaps that are present in my talent. Now I can start to drill into the candidates individually, and I'm interested in knowing a bit more about Juanita. I've had the good fortune here of one of my professional assessors that's taken time to look at Juanita's performance in the assessment center, as well as the analytics. And here the narrative summary was written by Linda Hall on this date here, and it tells me a bit more about Juanita. This is incredibly important for consultancies that are attending this webinar because it really ensures that you're using the professional capability and experience of your assessors to really give more color into the assessment results for your clients. This is a blank space that you can use as an executive summary, more qualitative observations, or even hiring or development recommendations. Over here, I can start to see now how the assessment scores that were input in the Assessor Interface earlier start to show up on percentile levels for each of the competencies that we've enabled for these analytics. Now, one thing you're probably noticing here is that I've got some dark bars on the analytics platform, but I've also got some shaded bars. And what this is telling me is about how Juanita's development is tracking, because Juanita has been using the development application that we briefly mentioned earlier. For the purposes of this webinar, we won't talk too much about that, but please don't hesitate to contact us to understand how the development interface interacts with the analytics platform. But most importantly, I can see the skills, the definitions, and how my candidate was scoring at the time of the simulation. Because Juanita has completed the psychometrics, both personality views of learning orientation and her learning aptitude, I can generate a score about Juanita's potential, but I can quickly see here that while Juanita has average learning aptitude or is in the average range, Juanita's going to need some very specific types of development support because she reports herself as being someone that's not necessarily oriented towards more formal learning, but prefers to seek out their competence through doing things on their own and engaging in stretch assignments. As I look over to the skills and motivation analytics, I can begin to see Juanita's trajectory for each of the different skills that she was evaluated on. We're pulling data here from both how Juanita scored during the assessment center, but also how motivated Juanita uniquely might be to develop these skills in the future. On this axis here, we're seeing the alignment of each of these skills to Juanita's personality. Juanita reports herself as having personality, strengths and interests in unique areas. And so this tells us that when it comes to skill number 6, building strategic relationships, because this skill is wired to those personality factors, we can see that Juanita is likely to be able to be motivated and naturally engaged in building strategic relationships. As opposed to understanding business. This is not as aligned to Juanita's personality. The bubble is bigger, representing more effort for Juanita to develop this skill, but with some support and some practical application, it's very likely that we'll start to see skills like building strategic relationships, developing capable teams as an example, really quickly develop for Juanita. This is a really important analytic when it comes to knowing how to ensure that Juanita is getting ready as fast as possible to be performing well, and also where Juanita is going to find the least amount of effort and the most amount of reinforcement and natural aptitude in her role. We can discover some hidden gems here with Juanita, where these are some of the skills that maybe are not natural to the type of role she's had in the past, but we can start to uncover Juanita's natural potential for more leadership application. Next, we start to see the behaviors that Juanita has performed in. And this is where we're seeing the scores, the assessor scores represented in these analytics, and we can see a breakdown of each of the exercises that we built for Juanita in the assessment center, where she was demonstrating and practicing these micro behaviors, and we can see the assessor scores represented here. So we've got lots of color in understanding what exactly what Juanita did, what were the behaviors that we were on the lookout for, and whether we were observing those behaviors in each of the different exercises. Finally, we can see Juanita's self-reported personality based on the psychometrics that were included in the assessment center for her. Juanita rates herself as moderately organized and so on. And once again, I mentioned that the personality dimensions here are wired to each of the behaviors so that we can not only know just what Juanita can do right now, we can also start to understand Juanita's natural preferences. We can understand Juanita's aptitude for learning new skills, and we can be much more targeted in knowing the great talent that we have in front of us and how to unlock that potential to ensure that Juanita is not just a great person, but a great leader. And there we are. So the purpose of today was to walk you through some of the features of the SimManager, your opportunity to use the Pinsight platform for efficient and effective housing, administration, and reporting of your virtual assessment centers. We saw the speed with which an assessment center can be constructed and ensuring that you know that this is an entirely self-serve option where you have unlimited ability to upload and construct assessment centers at your fingertips without the need of a consultant or any additional support. You can obviously upload those traditional perform, or I should say prepare and perform type of assessment centers all the day in the life. We saw how quickly and efficiently scheduling an assessment can be, both from an administrator side, but most importantly for an easy participant experience. And we saw the engaging participant interface that feels natural, that feels very open-ended for participants to respond and perform in the best way possible. We saw the assessor interface and how quickly and simply being able to observe logs, track the emails, rewatch the role plays were for assessors, and how quickly assessors can quickly translate what they are seeing into scores, and then how quickly those scores are translated into a report. And finally, we just had a quick look at the analytics that were available for yourself and your customers, so that you've got a very engaging way to view candidates at group levels, where you've got a very in-depth, evidence-based data there to make your leadership, hiring, and succession decisions. And you've got good depth and multiple dimensions by including the psychometrics, so you can be prepared for developing your leaders and also knowing how to increase their success into the future. So we only had a small time today, but we absolutely would love to hear from you in regards to your questions, also your comments, and we'll be happy to spend more time moving slower, going a little deeper, and testing out if the Pinsight platform and our capabilities and the Pinsight SimManager are the best fit for your virtual assessment center, for your customers, and most importantly, for the organizations and societies that we want to serve, with fair, evidence-based tools that bring about high potential for businesses and turning great people into great leaders. Thanks everyone for spending some time with us today. Be safe, be well, and we hope to see you soon.